let's look at your energy like a bank account. Is it plus green? Like that's good, right? Negative red, bad. So let's look at this. Is this something that is giving you plus green and increasing your balance in your bank account? And not, I'm not meaning monetary by any means. I'm saying your energy, right? Is it increasing your energy in a positive way?
Welcome to the Leading Lane podcast for real estate pros by real estate pros with your hosts, Ashley Frederick and Stephen Birch. If you're looking for an honest, authentic, and raw perspective, you found it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Leading Lane podcast. We're happy to have you here today. I thought a good topic today might just be, we've talked about like relationships in the past and those types of things. And I think it's just, we're into the new lunar year. We're in the year of the fire horse, all of those good things. And I thought it might be a good time to just talk about your actual, like, people that you see, what they mean, what happens if you don't see people for a long time, or maybe if you end up accidentally self-isolating yourself, maybe what that can do, I think, not only to your own personal well-being, but like literally to business as well.
So we know relationships are important, right? Like that's what we have to be able to build to be able to sell houses and have a successful business or anything that you do, right? I think it's all about relationships. I, for one, get peopled out, no people juice, no energy. I don't want to do anything. But it's so hard because how do you have a successful business and you're not out there networking? Like, how do you continue to build that? Or you're not having the connections with your previous people. So, how do you balance it? Really, is my question.
That's a tough one. I mean, I do think, right, we've talked about boundaries, so I think that boundaries definitely come into play. For me, it's like Friday nights are kind of the untouchables. Like after 5 o'clock, I am not available. The more and more people that I talk to, I feel like that's more the norm. Like they're tapped out by 5 o'clock on Friday because a lot of people are in peopling jobs. But right then you're like right back to it on Saturday morning. But I think one, it goes back to the right people, but also I think sometimes it might just be that might be a sign that there's some other things going on and that there might be full burnout.
Mhm.
So do you need to not necessarily like step away from real estate, but do you need to step away from all of the events, all of the things for a short period of time so you can really focus on your health and energy and well-being? And then when you're right and you feel good about it, can you step back in and what does that mean?
Right. And I think too, like when we get started, we talked about this of like how many different boards, you sit on and your volunteer opportunities, all these different things. And it does get overwhelming. So, and it doesn't have to be a light switch all or nothing. I think it's having that, balance and real evaluation, doing a self audit of what serves me. Does it give me the energy, or is this depleting my energy?
Mhm.
And I think that's a very quick way to be able to identify like which direction you need to go, and it's bullet point by bullet point of those different activities. And as long as it still serves you, great, run with it. But if it no longer serves you, get rid of it.
I think that's hard for people to do, right? Like you commit to an organization and then I feel like some of us just like kind of feel like you're stuck there for life. Because you feel bad because then who's going to take over, who's going to step in, but there
Right.
comes a point where you just have to realize that it's actually not, that's not your problem to figure out. And it's not to say that there isn't some one behind you that's been waiting to fill those, boots and they haven't had the opportunity to. But yeah, over the last year, I think it's been a lot of, like when you're at the meetings, like, do you leave the meeting feeling rejuvenated or do you leave the meeting feeling 10 times more drained? And I think that that is
Mhm.
just a hard look in, and then you just have to tell people like, I think that my time has been served here. I'm happy to consult whenever needed, but I think it's time for someone else to
Mhm.
fill these shoes. And I think it's hard, but it's not to say you don't still support these organizations or go to
Sure.
events, but maybe your time just needs to be spent where it is filling up your cup.
Yeah, I'm working with a client now, and along the same lines, being able to get them to see like the positive energy or negative energy. And the analogy that I used with them was, let's look at your bank account. Let's look at your energy like a bank account. Is it plus green, like that's good, right? Negative red, bad. So let's look at this. Is this something that is giving you plus green and increasing your balance in your bank account? And not, I'm not meaning monetary by any means. I'm saying your energy, right? Is it increasing your energy in a positive way? And not everything is going to be always positive. So just like your bank account, well, at least my bank account, there's definitely expenses that are coming out of there, right? So making sure that you know that you are not allowing your balance, your energy balance, to deplete too much to where you're overdrawing and you're now in the negatives. It's okay to have those flex outs. But when you look at that line item of the energy or whatever you're spending your money on, is that something that you truly need? Or is that something we can go ahead and eliminate out of your budget and we can put to the side and not have so many negative, transactions there? So I think when I put that in that perspective of adding or subtracting, pulling from you, like it really changed the mindset and looking at things a little bit differently because we are completely in control of all of that, right?
Hmm.
We say we're not in control of everybody else, but we are in control of ourselves. So having that self recognition and that audit really truly is something you have to do.
Well, I think it's an audit of who you're spending your time with too, right? So
Mhm. Mhm.
that changes over time too. And maybe there's people that you were spending time with that you thought might be, good or positive, and then the more you spend time with them, maybe it's just, negative or not as uplifting, and you just kind of have to decide to slightly remove yourself. And sometimes that's hard because it might be people that work in the same office or,
Sure.
are in the same organizations, and it's just a matter of maybe trying to pull yourself back a little bit so you don't get, drug into those. But, over the last year, I've had some, medical things that came up that I needed to pull myself back, just one, to take care of myself, but also because those environments were uncomfortable for numerous reasons. And it is alarming, like how quickly you can isolate yourself from those
Mhm.
types of things. And then you start to wonder, like, if you're missed at those, did your going actually impact anyone? And then you start to kind of, play games with yourself in general, and that's a whole nother slippery slope that you can go down. But I think that's when being around the right people, also getting your health situations,
Mhm.
figured out. And so I think it was just interesting, like with the whole, shedding of the past and the snake, like
Mhm.
all of that ended on Monday, and Tuesday was a new year, and it was interesting. I went to a meeting that I haven't been to in 3 months, and I was like walking down the hallway, and someone was like, "Hey, friend," and came and gave me a hug, and then I turned into the office where the meeting was, and then someone else came and gave me a hug, and then like two more people behind them were like, "Oh my God, we haven't seen you for so long," and it was like this. I don't know. It was like this rush of like probably endorphins or whatever because they're all people that I like deeply care about, but all within like a 2 minute span.
Right.
But stayed after and had some conversations, and I like it felt good, right? And then like I realized that as easy as that is, like at my core, like I'm still a human that needs to
Mhm.
have those, other people. Um, and it was funny, right? I've had some hearing things. So I spoke to a guy that specializes in hearing. And when I talked to him, I told him that I thought I was having social anxiety. And when I talked to him yesterday, he said after he got off the phone, he told his wife that. And he's like, "Can you like see Ashley having social anxiety? Like that just must be awful for her. That's not who we know." And like
Mhm.
hearing it from someone else, I was like, "Yeah, I mean, you're right. That is what I've been saying all along." So we're gonna take care of some of those issues. But then, like last night, we had volleyball, and we don't normally do anything after volleyball, but it was our last night. So we stopped on the way home and like walked in and saw another guy I haven't seen forever and like, screamed my name, and the whole bar turned around. I was like, okay, like make an announcement here. Same thing, like get it, like you get like a big bear hug, right? And I think I was just having these realizations over the last couple days that like there are those good people, there are the people that really do appreciate you and want to see you, and maybe they're having a bad day and seeing you might be,
Mhm.
what they needed because they haven't seen you for a while. Or I think it was just a realization for me that it's easy to pull away, but it's probably not always the best, especially when there are good people that you can fill it with.
Yeah. we went to dinner last week and ran into a previous broker owner,
Hmm.
right? Like she's been in the area forever, haven't seen her in a long time. She came up and she was like, Steven, and gave me a big old hug and we chit chatted. And she's like, I just have not seen you in so long. She goes, but I do want to let you know, I watch your podcast and I love it. Like, I love when you drop little things about our community or things that are happening because I could probably guess who these people are. And I was like, I'm sure you can. And I'm sure that you're exactly correct. But she's like, I just don't ever say anything or, like anything. But I'm watching, I'm rooting for you. And, that for sure was a huge positive, a win. Just somebody that I really respect and have, she's seen me my entire life grow up around here and her to be able to come up and have that conversation. So, yeah, I mean, it has to fill your cup at the bottom of, I mean, at the end of the day. Like, but also I think, for me too, is yes, like I don't want to go to we're small rural America, so it's always there's the bar or there's the bar.
Well, it
Like
used to be
there's really
bowling,
not,
but we don't have a bowling alley anymore. So,
yeah, there's not much. So like I don't like going to the same establishments over and over and over and just doing that, right? Like, and I think that's where maybe, of course, in the winter, nobody really talks about like the seasonal
seasonal.
depression and how much the weather really does contribute to your mood, at least my mood.
Oh no,
Um,
100%.
but it's forcing yourself. Like, yes, I don't want to go to those establishments, but it doesn't mean I have to indulge in drinking with everybody, right?
Right.
So I think it's again, it's the self going back constantly over and over. So being present, being seen, and not just seen on podcast or on social, being physically seen, making those continued connections. And I bet you probably 9 times out of 10, like whatever the bullshit story that we're telling ourselves is really not the true story,
Hmm.
and we're making excuses. And so having to step outside of our comfort zone, pushing ourselves, and that's really where growth then happens.
I think it can even just be like, right, because I think as in real estate, like we're always in these like event heavy, type
Hmm.
things, which same thing, like you can only have like so much of a conversation before the event starts. And, I'm a live auction queen. So, before you get involved in that, so I think even just a recommendation to maybe think more about just those like one-to-one type things. So, like I asked a lender here in town that's really passionate about housing like I am, and we had a coffee yesterday, and I mean it was fantastic. We came up with like four different ideas that he can work on within the bank, and like that again like felt extremely fulfilling for me that there might be some progress, or if it's just like a couple or, friends that maybe you haven't seen for a while, like actually just going to dinner, like the four of you, either even
Hmm.
at your house or out together, right? Like those conversations where you have maybe 2 hours to actually get in, and those are the things I think that we forget about too, that those are just as important. So if there's someone that you haven't seen for a while, or you've been thinking about them, I think I would encourage you to reach out and either have coffee or have a lunch, and might see that that was just the turnaround that you needed for the week.
And it, like a lot of times here too, like it doesn't have to be elaborate, I think is what we're getting at. It doesn't have to be this huge function. It doesn't have to be that you're putting on this amazing event or going to this amazing event every single day. It's the true meaningful connections. And it's as simple as a text message. Noelle texted me
Yeah.
the other day
Yeah.
and was like, I'm so freaking excited to see you in a month. Can't wait to see you. And we chit chatted and it made me feel so good. Like it stopped me. I wasn't expecting to receive anybody or receive anything from anybody, especially Noelle. But I'm thankful that she did. It's a small touch in, and I think maybe that's probably the first step if you are feeling isolated or you're not wanting to go or seasonal depression, right? Like whatever it's going to be, that whatever you want to call it, is you just doing a small minor action and reach out to one person and do it one person a day. I
Hmm.
mean, compound that together. That's a lot of people that you're, talking to now versus talking to zero a day.
Well, and I
That's
think
a
even
huge
if like,
increase.
you are struggling with things that you think are not like warranted of your time anymore, and maybe you just need to tell someone else that too. Like maybe they'll help you with, writing that email that you need to, which I'm sure chat will help you with too, but that it's time for you to move on. But I think, or like I've had to tell board members like why I wanted to move on, and then they realize that there are
Mhm.
some other things that they need to work on. So I think just being aware of that energy and really trying to preserve the positive, because let's be honest, things are strange. And the more that we can try to support each other and put yourself in good environments, right? It's just like, what good can you do? Like it's the continuing to pay it forward for someone.
Mhm. Yep. I love it. Definitely needed this talk, right? Like in realizing getting back to just me, not allowing the outside influences so much, absorb and put on my shoulders. I can only control me. That's it. So thanks for tuning in, people. We love that you come back continuously and hope to see you next time.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, and share with others. Stay connected for more genuine insights and strategies to boost your real estate career on Facebook or check out our website. We'll see you next time.